Shalom. It's the brother Azariah, back once more with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakai Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Also, shalom, peace and blessings to the brothers and sisters waking up to this truth and laboring in all righteousness and sincerity. All right. So, America, this place known as America, otherwise known as Babylon the Great, in the scriptures, is falling, and it's falling fast. You got a lot of people online right now complaining about their situation. The cost of living is crazy. People can barely afford food. We're in the midst of a potential government shutdown, which is going to lead to, if it happens, is going to lead to a lot of things that are going to be a detriment to people going forward into 2024. But I have this TikTok here with this young lady. You know, she's speaking on it. The cost of living in NYC. Now, we already know that in New York. I lived in New York when I was younger, so I know that out there the cost of living has always been above average. But now, especially ever since the pandemic, it's gotten worse. And it's only going to get worse because the policies that are being put in place by the elites, these things are being done deliberately by the elites to put hell on people and to get them to basically bow down and beg for this NWO that they want to implement. But the cost of living situation right now is crazy. You can barely afford food. You go to the store. You looking at a 30% increase on all the items. You remember how it was pre-pandemic? I mean, you could go to the store and get a full cart of groceries for $150, $200 max. Now, you paying $200 for some groceries, and you leaving out the store with 5 to 6 bags. So inflation is literally killing people's pockets, man. You know what I'm saying? It's driving people mad. And this is why the scriptures say what it says in 2nd Ezra 15 and 16. It's going to come to a point that people are not going to regard their kings nor princes. It's going to be all out hell in these streets. Because at that point, it's going to be like, well, what are we paying taxes for? What are we working for? What's the point to work if I can't even have a decent life? You got Americans, mainly Edomites on the right, that's ready to go to war against the government. Full force. They just ready to say, yo, F it. We about to just go all out. Because these politicians, they're obviously on the other side. That's how they seeing it. And, you know, these are beautiful times to live in because we seeing the downfall of our enemies. We're seeing the collapse of America. We're seeing these people lose their minds. While all the while, we're in the midst of it, but we're comfortable. We're stable. Because we understand and have faith that the Lord, Yahweh Shai, is going to take care of us through all these perils that are coming upon the earth. The Lord is going to keep us from the evil. So I'm going to stop rambling on. Let's check out these couple videos I got. Of course, we're going to get some scriptures. But just to demonstrate that things are not getting better. America is not going to bounce back. Only evil is coming to the earth, man. Let's check it out.
Hey friends, I just wanted to update you guys on the cost of living situation here in New York City. Just like a quick reality check. So currently, as of June 2023, the average price of a studio apartment in New York City is $3,500 about. Okay, average price.
So the average price for a studio apartment. Now that's you basically living in a box. Everything's just out. All right, you ain't got no privacy, nothing like that. $3,500 for a studio apartment in New York City. That's crazy. Most people in America don't even make $3,500 a month. But it's gonna get crazier. Watch.
Price studio apartment. That means like you're living in one big box with a bathroom. You don't have your own room, right? Studio apartment. Okay. in order to rent an apartment in New York City, you must be making at least 48 times the rent. Now, people will say, oh, 30 to 40 times. 30.
So you see that just in order to apply for the studio apartment, which costs $3,500, you must make 40 times the rent. Now, that's an absurd policy. Who makes 40 times $3,500 a month? You tell me. Maybe the elites? Maybe if you're making 500,000 and upward a year, which that's less than 1% of the population. But for the average individual that just desires somewhere to live, that's not even feasible. That's not even an option. See, you basically gonna have to live in the hood. You're gonna be relegated to living in the worst parts of the city because no one can afford to live in, Manhattan's Upper East Side. Okay, no one can afford to live in Soho. You even got Harlem now that's being gentrified. You can't even live up there. And if you are, you live in the slums. You barely getting by. We living in a time right now where families are having to come together just to afford a living space. Also, what's happening, a lot of Americans are leaving America and going to countries like Mexico. They're going to Europe to seek a better quality of life because what exists here in America is nothing but stress and anguish. You can't have a peace of mind when you live in a society that requires you just to afford a $3,500 a month, which is crazy in and of itself, studio apartment to make 40 times that rent. This is 2 Ezra 8 in verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time, the times that we're in right now, the last days, shall dwell in the world. Why? Because they have walked in great pride. So what you're seeing now is the Most High visiting the iniquity of these wicked ass people. Because for the longest time, especially to Jake, all right, this thing is going to hit Jake hard. Because Jake is really the main one that's being rebellious. The Most High don't give a damn about these other nations, but the Most High has been calling you Israelites. And you've refused to take heed unto the word. So you know what's happening now? Your life is being made a living hell. And these people, they don't like nothing about it. They're at the point to where they're either about to end it all. Okay, they either about to blow their brains out. They about to go on looting sprees like what just happened out there in Philadelphia, which that was set up. Or they just figure that they're about to take what they need to live. So all that was going on, these elites is putting a squeeze on you. These elites are putting, the scripture calls Esau the serpent, right? And what does a serpent do? A serpent constricts, all right? He squeezes the life out of his prey. And that's what he's doing to you Americans, man. Okay, Esau is squeezing the life out of you. Slowly but surely. And every month that goes by, more and more unrighteous decrees are put into effect to make your life even harder. Let's continue.
No. Ask your realtor, argue with your realtor, and not me, okay? 40 times the rent. Now, if you're not making 40 times the rent, you can always have like a co-signer. They call it something different, but you always have like a co-signer, but they must be making 80 times the rent. So that's probably not an option if you're not making 40 times the rent. You probably don't know somebody making 80 times the rent. Okay. Now, 80%, even if you did know somebody, 80% of New Yorkers' salaries fall between the range of $35,000 and $150,000. And you must be making at least $140,000 to rent a studio apartment in New York City right now. So what you're telling me is about 80% of New Yorkers cannot afford to rent a studio apartment in New York City right now. So why am I even talking about this? Honestly, I just feel like we're being gaslit into thinking that we're not in a recession. Into believing we're not in a recession. Like, I feel like we just keep being told, oh, people just don't want to work and blah 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 and all this crazy stuff. People are getting laid off every single day. There are no jobs available. Like, it is actually hard out here. So if you're feeling it, I feel you, right? It's not just you. It's actually hard out here. We are.
And that's the thing too. It's not really that there's no jobs. There are jobs available, but the ones that are available require, little to no skill. And those jobs are really not paying any money, at least not enough money in this economy to make ends meet or to be able to save anything. So a lot of people are just like, what's the point? I might as well just resort to a life of crime, or I'm gonna just get unemployment, or I'll just leech off of somebody else. That's really where people's minds are at now. People are just like, what is the point to work? I can't see no money from working. I gotta wait 2 weeks. By the time I get my check, Esau taking $200 to $300 out of your check every 2 weeks. Then you gotta put gas in your car. You gotta pay rent. You gotta get food. Like, yo, it's crazy. It's crazy. But this is Isaiah 19:14. The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err. Now we know that modern day America, otherwise known as Babylon the Great, in the scriptures is also likened unto ancient Egypt, but this is the new Egypt. This is where the Israelites were taken as captives in slavery. All right, you have the Mississippi River, which runs from the Gulf of Mexico all the way up to the state of Michigan, which is likened unto the Nile River, which is in Egypt. You have many of the same occult practices and rituals that were done in ancient Egypt being practiced here in America. So this is spiritual Egypt. That's why it says, and they have caused Egypt to err, because a perverse spirit has been mingled in the midst of this place. These politicians, they're perverse. All right, they are performing acts and putting laws in place which are not beneficial for the people, which they know is not right. To err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Verse 15, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. And you're having a lot of companies close down as well. A lot of stores are closing. A lot of these corporations are closing up shop. They're filing bankruptcy, and a lot of people are losing jobs behind that as well. And then, like I mentioned earlier, the jobs that are left, you're not getting no money from that. There's no opportunity at McDonald's to, work your way up. What if you're a manager at McDonald's? Like, what the best that you'll make is upwards of $20 an hour. But in this economy, that's not no money combined with your other living expenses. So this place is being plagued by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. The jobs are drying up. People are looking out the window. They're seeing that things are dark. This economy, the dollar is collapsing. People are becoming, the love of many is waxing cold because they can't have a job, because they can't have money, because they can barely eat. So, and then that's going to lead to friends fighting against one another like enemies. 2nd Ezra 6:23 or 22, Salakia. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. We know that there's a famine coming. There's an engineered famine that is on the way, that is going to destroy these Babylonians. Shall suddenly be found empty, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. So evil and only evils are coming upon the planet Earth. The scriptures tell you that in the last days shall come perilous times, dangerous times. And this is what we are in the midst of. But the water, call halal Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, that we have comfort through all of this. We can bring these things out and not feel nothing. Because we understand at the end of the day that the Lord is going to keep those that are faithful, those that believe, close to him. That these calamities are not going to touch us because we have faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. But the people of this world, when these things come upon them, they're going to be in a state of sorrow and mourning, while we're going to be rejoicing. While people ain't got no food, while they ain't got nowhere to live, guess what? We're going to be taken care of. We going to be good. We good right now. I know a lot of people that don't have nowhere to live, or they financially insecure, or they stressed out worrying about how they're going to keep what they have. Brothers are not in that situation. Brothers are good. Now, I'm not saying that particular brothers are, not I'm not saying that particular brothers are living high on the hog, but hey, for the most part, we have what we need, and that's what's important. You know what I'm saying? In times like this, you know what I'm saying, you got to learn to be grateful, appreciative for what the Lord allows you to have. Because a lot of people don't have, man.
Are currently in a recession, and it's tough, especially if you live in New York City. New York City is the most expensive city in the world. In the world, not in the US. No, in the world. It's the most expensive city in the world. So if you're feeling it, if you're living with your parents, if you're feeling like a bum right now, you're not a bum. It's hard times, baby.
This is high rate robbery. Man, I'm trying to get some of this gas back. Hey, you think if I go in there and tell them that I put the wrong gas in here, they'll give me a refund? This is crazy. I'm going electric. This is high.
And mind you, this is Jimmy Butler. This is a star in the NBA, so he getting money. And even he is appalled by the price of gas. To fill up his tank, $142.75. That's ridiculous. And this is only for 19 gallons of gas? For 19 gallons of gas, you paying $142. Now, I don't know if he's using 87. I'm pretty sure he's not using 87, but even if he's using 93, that's still crazy. And Jimmy Butler is getting millions. So look at these comments. His contract next season is $58 million, and he worried about $145 in a Bugatti tank. But see, just because he's making $58 million, I mean, he still got expenses though. The cars he got houses, you know what I'm saying? He probably got other things going on. So, but still, to fill up your tank and it's $142, like that's still wild. Now imagine the average American having to endure this, and the cost of gas is only going to continue to go up, because once these BRICS nations begin to get stronger, which they are getting stronger, they're bringing more allies into the BRICS, and they're gonna come with that CBDC that's backed by actual commodities like gold and silver. So once that happens and they get enough members to get on board with them, and more of them start trading in that currency, the US dollar is going to be put on the back burner, which that's going to cause things to go up even higher than what it is right now. You think gas is high? Hey, wait till 2024. You think food is high? Wait until later on this year, going into 2024. Because you have to consider the gas It is pretty much what runs this infrastructure. Gas goes into, planes and tankers, trucks, which transport things to and fro in America. If gas gets to on average $5 a gallon, what kind of effect do you think that's going to have on the American economy? A lot of trucking businesses are going to have to go out of business, or they're going to have to lay workers off, which that goes into Isaiah 19 as well. It's going to be a domino effect. A lot of people are going to suffer in times that we're coming into. And this is all part of the squeeze. And it's really being brought on by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. But of course, Esau is the one that the Lord is using to bring these things about. So he put the hell on these people. And then Biden, all right, he's talking about the so-called black community will suffer if there is a government shutdown. That you Jakes are going to suffer the worst, which Jake is already suffering. Jake is already on the bottom, but mainly who's going to be affected the worst is the B-dub, the so-called black woman, right? Because you have a lot of these Israelite women that are on these government assistance programs, WIC, SNAP. They getting child support, they getting alimony. You know what I'm saying? So they getting a lot of benefits from E. But we've been telling you Eves, that hey, Esau is about to cut you off. All right, Esau is about to cut that lifeline off, because you Israelite women have become proud. And like I read in 2nd Ezra 8:50, many great miseries shall fall upon those that dwell in the latter times because of their pride. And you so-called black women, Israelite women, are the most proud. You out here saying you don't need a man. You treat a man like he's beneath you. Give a man all kind of problems. Any little thing you want to call Esau on the Israelite man. So hey, you know what? Hey, the Most High is about to correct that ill behavior. And who is he going to use to do it? E.
Just a few months ago, the Speaker of the House and I agreed to spending levels for the government. We were up right to the very edge, almost reneged on our debt, and that we're going to fund essential priorities and still cut the deficit by $1 trillion over the next decade. Now, a small group of extreme House Republicans, they don't want to live up to that deal, and everyone in America could be faced with paying a price for that. They're changing it. We made a deal. We shook hands. We said this is what we're going to do, and now they're reneging on the deal, which is not much of a surprise these days. And the black community in particular is going to suffer if that occurs. For example, Shutdown is going to risk nutrition assistance to nearly 7 million moms and children. It's going to disproportionately affect black families. The Department of Housing and Urban Development will have to stop nearly all 7 million moms and children.
So if this government does shut down, it's going to disproportionately affect black women, the black community in general, but mainly 7 million, as Joe Biden just said, 7 million plus moms and children. Because why? These government benefits are about to be cut off. America knows what time it is. Esau know what time it is. They got to prepare for war. They about to go into Taiwan against China. They're providing more money to this Ukraine war. And the cold thing about it is, right, if the government does shut down, we'll see what happens. But if they do shut the government down, Ukraine is still going to get their money. They're still going to be funding the wars. But you still going to be paying taxes while they're funding their interests overseas off of your hard labor. So this is how the devil get down. But the point is, Esau is about to cut you Jakes off. Okay, mainly you Israelite women. He about to cut the umbilical cord. All right. Because for too long, and the crazy thing is that our women that say that they don't need a man or they can do for themselves, a man gives you everything that you need. The job that you have, who gave that unto you? Who created the infrastructure for that position to even be set up? A man. When you need help, who you gonna call? You gonna call a man. The gas that you put in your car, who minds for that? Men. Who built the house that you live in? Men. Who built the car that you drive? Men. So this strong delusion of our women saying they don't need men, well, you need Esau, right? You know, you're just in the mindset that you don't need the Israelite man because you feel as though the Israelite man, he don't, you know, because Jake don't got it like E. You look down on the Israelite man. He can't tell you what to do because you ain't, nigga, you ain't making enough money. Nigga, you ain't driving a Benz. You ain't living in high-rise buildings. You can't, nigga, you can't afford to tell me what to do. But that's the beat up for you though. That's the beat up for you, man. But all that is about to be humbled, okay? The Most High is about to put all that crazy talk to rest. This is Isaiah 32:9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice. Ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled. Ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail. You see that? So the vintage shall fail. Okay, all of the good and pleasant things that you enjoyed in Babylon the Great, all that is going to fail. We coming into the time where you're not going to be able to go to your favorite seafood spot and get $120 seafood boil. Them days about to be over. The gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. You see that? So when this government assistance is cut off, when these storehouses are found suddenly empty, these women mainly are going to lament for the teats. They're going to desire substance. They're going to remember back to the good old days, right? Where they could go to the store, where they could use Snap, and they could get Wick, and they could get 2 shopping carts full of food for no money down. They're going to remember them days. That's why they're going to lament. But that's when they're going to look for a man. And they're not going to look for just any man. They're going to look for a man of the Lord. All right. The scriptures say that a man shall be as a hiding place, that a man shall be more precious than fine gold in that day. And that's going to lead up to Isaiah 4:1, where it says that 7 women shall take hold of one man. And as it says in that scripture, they're not going to be asking what the man can do for them. They're going to be offering themselves unto the man. They're going to say, listen, we'll feed ourselves. We'll clothe ourselves. Just take us and call us by your name. Just let me be your wife. you know, you don't have to do anything for me. What can I do for you? That's going to be the attitude. And really, that's how it should be. But of course, we live in Babylon the Great. Everything is upside down. Up is down. Right is left. Women are men and men are women now. So, this is the land of confusion. Everything has been confused, man. But it's cool because, hey, the Most High about to correct everything and put everything back into its proper order. And the proper order is that the man is over the woman and the woman is under the man. That's the proper order. All right. That's the way that the Most High set it up. But in this society, Esau has given our women liberty and freedom to gad abroad and choose their own way, which ultimately has been destructive. All right. Just look at how our families, well, you can't even call it families, but just look at how the dynamic between men and women are in our community. You don't see that with the other nations, but you see it with Jake. So, yeah, that's all the scriptures I wanted to get. Yeah, I'll go ahead and end this lesson right here. Hopefully this was edifying through the Rakah Kadash. In closing, call halal, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai Bashim, Rakah Kadash. And until next time, Lord willing, Shalom unto the elect.